last volume, I'm going to call them volume just because if you ever go to your comic store, they collect a bunch of comics into what's called a volume, and they put it in like huge graphic novels, and they put it on the bookshelf. And volume one would have been the Golden Egg Hunt. It would be something like Super Apocalypse Golden Egg, and that volume includes everything that Steve did. And at the start of that volume, everyone was kind of doing their own thing. We had the two Marines, Seeker and Black Mamba, in the Middle East destroying people. I believe that's where they were. And we had the Vigilantes, Bastion, Bianca, and Revenant operating within the United States, making sure that the United States stayed, free and hunting down anything supernatural that happened to make it within the borders. Just on a cool side note, if anyone did not read Black Mamba's short story, Black Mamba gave a really cool reason why nothing's made it into America. Basically, America has set up a defense grid. What was it? TATS?
TATS.
Yeah,
Tactical
TAT.
Analysis Targeting System.
And it's basically just a line of like really big rifles, like not normal rifles you and me would think about, but these are the recoilless rifles that are just huge and fire a huge shell capable of knocking aircraft and just about anything out of the air before it makes it over United States airspace. And it's all along the border of the United States. So it's facing east, north, not north because north is not needed. It's a ice storm up there. No one's making it through there.
Didn't they, well, the whole, mostly northern North America is under U.S. protection, right? Like down to Panama, I believe, right?
Yep, down to Panama. And so, if there was ever any time that Supernatural got its way past it, that was what the Vigilantes, Bianca, Bastion, and Revenant dealt with. And of course, Arya and Malcolm were a member of a corporation ran by Mr. and Mrs. Drake. And shortly after our introductions to the characters, a team was formed by the WWRO. Basically, got some of you together because you're under orders. Used constortion to get the others, and Doomsuit and Arya Doomsuit was paid to join because he worked for the court. And you guys started a task force to hunt down information that was collected by a former team that had been lost. And you guys started almost a crusade across the world, introducing, it was basically like an introductory adventure to every single threat, popping between South America, to go into Africa, just go into all these different regions, seeking after what you guys would come to know as the Golden Egg, which was a hacker profile. What the internet has been reduced to. And what the Golden Egg turned out to be eventually was a cosmic power that housed itself within Russia. And you guys successfully found her, where she's been trying to be found this whole time, extracted her and brought her back to the United States. But the last thing that happened was when you guys finally got her, she passed out. You guys had this huge epic fight, a lot of great things happened, and you guys escaped through a portal. Shortly thereafter, that task force was disbanded. It was no longer needed. WWRO sent you guys on your separate ways. Many people joined the CIA. I really hope you guys read the 2-year epilogues because they were really a lot of fun. I'm not going to go into too great a detail. Inc. is having trouble with her humanity. Revenant's now missing. The last thing you guys know about him is he's got a gravestone erected somewhere probably around the New York City area. Malcolm has got his doctorate. He's no longer just a genius that the corporate pays him well above his education level. He's now got a full doctorate. He CLEP tested nearly the whole thing. Black Mamba he's now a CIA operative, and he has done some work helping to recover Cuba. We stated in the last campaign that many of the Pacific items and the small islands were kind of laid waste to, and in this instance, Cuba was laid waste to by, it sounded like a dictator. Is that right, Dan?
Well, actually, it was Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, that's right. I was thinking, wow.
It was a communist regime that took over because the United States couldn't really do anything at the time because we were on defense, and San Juan was like the free city, while the rest was under this oppressive regime of the Red Hand.
Cool. All right. So that's what he's been doing. He's been approached at the end of his story by one of his old war buddies to get back involved in the safety of the world. And Seeker, meanwhile, joined the CIA, and he's doing some really covert ops knife stuff. The CIA sees his value as a covert killer, and that's what he's doing. His story depicted him apprehending um, I guess, a drug king in South America
Mhm.
named Rio, and they apprehended him and brought him back to the states.
Yeah, he was a
Uh,
black marketeer, but yeah, he got his
okay.
hands on some of the zombie virus hadn't been stable before. It was mutating too fast. They couldn't actually weaponize it, and he happened to get his hands on a weaponized sample. So it was very dangerous stuff, but he wasn't able to get it.
Cool. Arya, meanwhile, is now a teenager. She, since the Golden Gate incident, her parents have hired a full-time nanny. Is a gentleman they pulled out of a university who used to teach. They now hired him full-time, paying him a like six-figure salary to make Arya normal, to make it where she wants to be normal, and make it where she doesn't want to go out and save the world. So that's Arya now. I believe that's it for the recap.
I have a nanny with a PhD.
It's impressive.
Totally isn't me, by the way.
No, it's a psychologist.
Yeah, I was like, I'm engineering. I'm not going to be able to do shit in your brain.
All right, so some background on what happened over the 2 years since you guys have split up. Black Mamba made it clear to you guys once you guys split up that this wasn't the end of your guys' friendship. That every year he would like to do a reunion to go back to Japan, take a flight over, and visit Golden Egg, visit what brought you guys together. And that was just to keep in touch, keep networking. Basically, don't lose the hope that you guys have created for the world. However, since being placed in that hospital, Golden Egg has not woken up. For whatever reason, she is still in that hospital. And during that first year reunion, you guys were scheduled to go and visit her in her hospital bed. However, some events took a turn for the worse, and some of you guys were not able to make it. Ink's grandmother died around that time, and she could not attend because she was arranging for the funeral of her family member. In fact, some of you guys tried to mourn with her and come to the funeral, but you weren't invited. Ink did not want you there, and has since become kind of withdrawn. She doesn't answer phone calls as much as she used to. Um, Seeker had a run-in with her, covering up something very unfortunate she did during the 2 years off.
Hmm.
Um, Doomsuit, Malcolm, and we already went over who else is important of the 2 years off. Oh, yeah, Black Mamba. Once you were trying to fly out for the 1 year reunion, you had a break-in. There was someone that broke into you wherever you live and smashed everything up, so you could not attend the reunion because someone broke into your house. Malcolm, your corporation went into a lockdown drill to where they were simulating what would happen if something within our corporation um, started to harm the country, as if they pretended that they got a virus from India, Tusis, I believe it's called, and it broke out within the facility. So you weren't able to attend the reunion because you were locked down within your corporation. Same thing with you, Arya. Um, Seeker, you were the only one to actually show up in Japan.
Oh shit. Okay.
And you quickly found, as soon as you landed, you got the messages, you got the text, everything flooding in after you turned on your cell phone,
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. This came up." And just a bunch of, you got all the excuses, and it seemed like a
Hmm.
lot of coincidences happened at once.
Yeah.
And so and you didn't think much of it. You just, well, it's just, you thought to yourself, when it rains, it pours.
Hmm.
So that reunion didn't go off as planned. A year later, you guys are gearing up for your second reunion. However, that's not where we're going to begin our story. The story actually begins, if you open up Volume 2, the first page is of LaGuardia Airport.